Mr. Scott Cooper. He is the International Executive Director for Talent Inc.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
So give us a little, what sparked this idea of Talent Inc.?
Talent Inc. was started about 15 years ago. One thing that kind of sparked this was I'm a talent agency owner, and I'm in the secondary market, so a lot of people that would come to audition for our agency, many of them had a lot of potential, but in the small market that we were in, nobody had resumes, they had no development, they had no any type of credits that we could actually get them work. So a lot of times when I first opened my agency, I was like, go get some experience, take some acting classes, you have great potential, please come back and audition for us. And people were not finding what they needed to
Resources.
Right. So we actually, myself and a few other agency owners kind of came up with this concept of developing a program that would specifically get talent ready for agencies. So that's kind of what sparked Talent Inc. is because as agents, we knew exactly what we needed people to know and what credits we needed them to have on their resume to be successful in our markets.
How long has Talent Inc. been around? How long have y'all been?
Talent Inc. has been around since 2005.
Okay.
So that was the official first talent showcase where we flew in clients from all over the world to meet new talent.
How has it changed since then? What are you seeing in that?
I don't think that the basic concept has changed. I think that potentially
grown, rather.
it has definitely grown. The thing that has grown about it is that we have had so many success stories in the United States that other countries started hearing about our success stories and about our program. We first, about 6 years ago, we were approached by a company in Canada that asked us if we would bring our educational program to Canada to educate actors and to introduce Canadian actors and models to Canadian agencies. And we've been doing that there in Canada for about 6 years, and then about 4 years ago we were approached by a company in the UK that said there's nothing like Talent Inc. in the UK, would you please bring this program here? And now we've been in the UK for about 4 years.
What do you think sets the Talent Inc. apart from other events and other conferences?
I think that the thing that sets us apart is we really want to give people what we call a practical education of things that they really need to know to be good business people. So many times we have people who actually come to our showcase or do our development program that say, I just graduated from film school and I've learned more in 20 hours about the business and how to work with agencies and how to get managers and how to navigate the industry than I learned in a 4-year college education. So, we really want people to know the information that's going to get them to the next level.
You've been in the entertainment industry for a while.
A long time.
A long time. And so I think there's this big misconception that people they wake up one day and kind of Elle Woods, and like, oh, I'm going to be an actress today.
Right.
That is not the reality.
It isn't the reality, and I always tell people when they start in the industry, this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. I mean, we do have many success stories that took off very quickly, but we have many more success stories that were more of a slow-moving, developing career, which is really the reality of the industry.
Right.
And
I think that journey too is what's special, and people lose sight of that.
It's all about the journey. I mean, it's not just about doing jobs. Every audition should be your job. It should be an experience. You should learn from it. You really, as a musical theater actor, you have to love rehearsals as much as you love performances because you do more rehearsals than you do performances.
Right.
Same for an actor. You do more auditions than you do jobs. So if you don't love the process, you usually aren't very successful.
Someone who's interested in this event, coming into it, what would your advice be? Because sometimes I think people come in and they say, oh, I have an agent now, so I'm done. Or they come in and say, oh, I didn't get a call back, or whatever the case may be. There's kind of two ends of the spectrum.
Right.
So what kind of advice do you have, I guess, on both ends of the spectrum for actors and models?
I think that the biggest thing that a person can do to find success is to be realistic with themselves, know themselves. If they are a character actor, embrace that they're a character actor. Don't try to be a leading actor. If you are 5'2" and you're a female, realize you're not going to be a runaway model in Paris. You know, you have to know your type. I always tell people, if you find yourself through this process, if you be the best you that you can be, every person is like a snowflake. Every one of us is different. So you don't need to try to be like somebody else. Your goal should be to be unique, because that's what casting directors are looking for. So being true to yourself is really important in this process, and realizing that the industry isn't a jackpot. You don't come to Talent Inc. and all of a sudden, even if you get an agent, that doesn't mean you're going to work. That means they're going to submit you for auditions. You still have to go through the audition process. You have to go through all of those things. It's just taking those steps, and Talent Inc. is just a step in the process.
And I think that's an important point as well, is you come to Talent Inc. and have this amazing weekend, and let's say you do get an agent, that doesn't mean you can just stop.
No, absolutely not.
It's you have to work 10 times harder, because now you're thrown in, and you have to keep taking classes. And I think that is something so important that everyone needs to remember, is that it's an ongoing
process. And I think that even actors that are in feature films still have coaches that coach them through scripts. It is developing an art form, and you know, artists aren't developed in 2 months worth of classes and all of a sudden you're a famous artist. You know, it is something that is an ongoing process. If you want to continue to grow, you continue with your education. So I think that even agencies in Los Angeles, if you're signed with an agency in Los Angeles, you have to tell them who your acting teacher is, and they will call your acting teacher to get feedback. And if you're not in class, they don't want to represent you.
Wow. So it's important to keep
education is the key.
And exercising, especially with improv, just exercising that muscle and keep performing, because the more you practice, it's just...
And I would say improv is one of the most important skills for an actor, because improv helps you in interviews.
Right.
You know, you're on the spot, you don't know what's going to happen. Right. You're creating a scenario where you're trading information. Improv is the most important element in an actor's career, because if you are able to, on the spot, adjust to situations, casting directors and directors are drawn to those performers. If you're somebody that
you want to embrace it.
You want to embrace it, absolutely.
And then show them who you are, because we're all snowflakes. There's no one else like you, and I think that is...
There's nobody else like you. Nobody has ever been like you before you or after you. So that's what's so unique about each person.
And I think more people should embrace that, and it makes me so sad, because you should totally embrace that.
Absolutely.
That is so
People
awesome.
think I'm not skinny enough, or I have braces, I can't do this. If you look at a teen movie, for example, usually the lead guy and lead girl look like supermodels. But then they have the chubby best friend that's funny. They have the quirky person. 80% of roles in that movie are going to be character actors, and 10 to 20% are going to be lead roles. So there's more work for real people than there are for leading actors.
Right, and I think that goes back to your point. You have to know who you are as a person, and have to be really in tune with what your goals are and who you are, and embrace that.
And you have to surround yourself with a team that will also be honest with you. If you can't sing, you shouldn't be singing.
Right, and you want to surround yourself with people that's like...
Right. No, honey.
No.
Right.
Don't. No.
Exactly.
Please don't go try out for this show.
Right, exactly.
And that's hard to find people, because sometimes it can be awkward. It's an awkward conversation to have, but when you do have that relationship with people, I think it makes it easier.
Yeah.
There's a nice way to say.
Absolutely.
And owning an agency, I'm sure you had to have many of those conversations.
Many, and it is...
Probably heartbreaking to have.
Actually, I feel like it's all in the way that you present things. For example, so many times people come into agencies initially because they want to be a model. I mean, that happens a lot in agencies. Okay. And very few people actually have the right height, the right measurements, the right structure, everything to actually be a model. But that person might come in and might really have a great look for film and television or for TV commercials. So we always lead people in the right way, even if they're not right for our agency. We will say, this is what we think you could potentially be marketable in. We give them suggestions of acting studios in the area where they can develop those skills. But we never want to mislead anybody and say, you know, you're 5'2", but you're special. We think you can be a fashion model. You know, that's just not real.
Right, or fair to that person, or on the business side, you don't want that's your name on the
It's
line.
your
as well.
reputation.
It's your reputation.
Absolutely.
So that's all we've got, and so you don't want to ever, you know, promote someone who may not fit the part.
Exactly. 100%.
And they're not accomplishing anything.
No,
when
it's not fair to the casting directors. It's not fair to the parents if you're telling them something that's not true. It's, you know, it really has to be an honest conversation. And if you have honest conversations with people, they usually appreciate it. You know, sometimes they don't like it.
Right.
Sometimes you want to hear what you want to hear.
Right.
You know, but most of the time people are very appreciative of honesty.
It's like in retail, you know, when you go shopping and you're working with a sales associate, you don't want them to say, "Oh my gosh, you look so great in that dress," and then
some do.
Yeah, right, to make the sale,
Right.
and it's like, "Oh my gosh, you take this, and why did they let me buy that?"
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
So it's very, very similar to that. I want to kind of get back to Talent Inc., the weekend portion. What is your favorite part of the weekend?
Oh my gosh, I have so many favorite parts.
I'm sure it's hard to pick one.
The thing that I like about Talent Inc. is that I feel like, you know, in school I was a theater nerd, and I was not playing football, I was in chorus. You know, I was one of those kids that was kind of a misfit because I wanted to be an artist, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a singer. But, you know, there were the brainiacs and there were the popular kids and the sportsmen, and I didn't fit into those. And I feel like Talent Inc. is an opportunity for all of those kids. I'm still a kid at heart, you know,
I'm
but
with you.
4 years old all the way up to dead people, which
Right.
come to this thing,
Right.
so it's all ages. All of us have been those misunderstood people because artists aren't always understood by people.
Right.
So I feel like it's a safe place for everybody to come together, take workshops, learn about what they're passionate about, get the opportunity to be on stage and show what they have, whether it be dance or singing or acting or runway, whatever their specialty might be. And it's also a time for them to receive an education from people in the industry that know what they're talking about.
Right.
And also to meet these clients
Right.
one-on-one. I mean, you cannot fly to New York and Los Angeles and get meetings with 23 agencies.
Right.
You know, it just doesn't happen.
No, it's such a great opportunity to really be on the forefront of these agents, because you could sit and mail out, you know, resumes and headshots.
I've been there. Have you been there? And you never hear from them.
You never hear from them, or here's my favorite, I got one back.
Yes.
I got one back. And I was like, I would have been okay with it, but it was all bent, and I was like, I could have used this headshot.
Right, exactly.
So it's a lot of
And people don't
rejection.
realize how many submissions agencies get every
Right.
week of people just trying to get in the door. So it is a very unique opportunity. And I say this so many times to people around me, friends and colleagues. I say, if I had had a Talent Inc. in my life when I was a kid, I wonder what would have happened in my career. Do you know what I mean? If I had had the opportunity to meet people who could actually open the doors that I wanted to open. You know, in my small town in North Carolina, I was doing community theater, playing Pinocchio, and thinking that one day a Hollywood producer was going to be sitting in the audience and put me in a sitcom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And as a kid, you think that's realistic, but now I
And
realize
you hear stories about it, so
Of
that
course.
potentially could happen,
of course, but
it's a lot easier to come to something like this and really
be proactive.
proactive, but also I love social media. But
And you're
I
doing such a great job.
But we're kind of in that day and age now where everything is digital. You know, Skyping with agents or submitting your audition on tape.
Videotape.
And I think you lose that chemistry. And if as convenient as it is, there's something magical about going into a casting director's office or an agency to have the one-on-one, and because you vibe with people and you just know, like, I'm gonna work really
Well, I think in everything we're doing, it is a different era. And, you know, for example, if I wanted to talk to a friend, I would call them and we would have a conversation. Now it's everything is text. You don't even hear voices anymore.
Right.
You know, if you leave a message for people now, they don't even check their messages. You have to text them to communicate. You know, and it does take that personal element out. There's a double-edged sword. There's some good things about it because we are able to videotape people in Oklahoma and audition for projects in
And
Los
it's so
Angeles, and
quick.
you don't have to be in Los Angeles.
Right.
You know, so that's a good thing, but you do crave for those personal callbacks because there is nothing like that real chemistry that you
Right.
have in a room with somebody. So the callback is really the key, I think, to really manage a job.
I think so too. I would much rather go into a live audition. I mean, filming is great. I mean, like you said, it's super convenient, but there's just something about actually going and putting a face to a name. Because again, casting directors, agents see so many headshots and so many that it gets lost in the shuffle. And so it's just something. If you ever have the opportunity to either go into an audition or film it and do a self-tape, go.
Absolutely.
Go.
The more you put yourself out there, the more opportunities you're going to have. It's a numbers game. You know, if you're not putting yourself out there, then nothing's going to happen.
Right.
If you learn about Talent Inc. and you don't do it, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
If you learn about Talent Inc. and you educate yourself and you go forward with it, potentially a lot can happen. You know, if anybody ever makes you promises, they're lying to you because it's not their decision.
Right.
You know, all they can do is prepare you and put you in front of people. What you do in that spotlight determines your success.
Such great advice. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Scott Cooper. Thank you. Talent Inc. Check it out. Look into it if you're interested at all in acting, modeling. It's a really great opportunity to really learn a lot, like I said, on the business side, but also meet different agents from all over the world.
Absolutely. So look us up. We'll see you.